Clara was a young waitress at a restaurant located in the heart of a small town in the United States, where mornings began with the aroma of fresh coffee and days were marked by the peaceful rhythm of everyday life. His life was simple, but full of purpose, working hard to support his family, dreaming of something bigger and finding beauty in the small gestures of everyday life. Clara had contagious energy and a smile that brightened up even the greyest of days. However, she never imagined that a chance encounter would completely change the course of her trajectory. One day, while serving tables at the restaurant, a group of people rushed in, looking for a discreet place to eat. Among them was Simone Biles, a legendary gymnast who had conquered the world with her unparalleled performances in international competitions. Clara didn't know who Simone was at first glance, but she realized that something special surrounded those people. As he moved to take orders, he noticed that Simone looked exhausted, as if she was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. Without hesitation, Clara offered an extra glass of water and some words of encouragement, saying that anyone who could face such huge challenges deserved to be treated with care. This simple yet genuine gesture left a deep impression on Simone. During a brief conversation, Clara discovered that Simone was going through difficult times, both personal and professional, and that she was seeking refuge in peaceful places to reconnect with herself. Clara, without knowing the impact that her words remain, stories from her own life occur, talking about the challenges of growing up in a small community and the dreams she still had for the future. It was a moment of rare human connection, where two women from completely different worlds found the simplicity of a sincere conversation. However, what seemed like just a chance encounter soon turned into a turning point for Clara. A few days later, she was called into the restaurant manager's office, where she received the devastating news that she would be fired. The reason? A dissatisfied customer had complained that Clara had wasted a lot of time talking to Simone and her companions, affecting service at other tables. Clara was devastated, not only because he would lose his main source of income, but also because he felt that his intention to help had been misinterpreted. She returned home with a heavy heart, wondering if she should have been careful differently. As she walked through the familiar streets of her city, Clara felt the weight of uncertainty hanging over her. How could he support his family now? How do you move forward after such an unexpected blow? Questions echoed in her mind, but at the same time, something inside her felt different. It was as if that meeting with Simone had planted a seed of courage and determination that was beginning to sprout, even in the midst of adversity. Clara knew she needed to find a way to overcome this obstacle, but she hadn't yet explained how that would happen. That night, Clara spoke at length with her mother, a wise and resilient woman who always encouraged her to see beyond difficulties. His mother said that sometimes the greatest victories come disguised as challenges, and that the universe tends to reward those who grow old with security and losses. These words brought Clara some comfort, but she still felt empty inside. As he lay down, he closed his eyes and prayed, asking for guidance and strength to face whatever came his way. She didn't know it, but destiny was already preparing a surprise that would change her life forever. The next morning, Clara agreed to the insistence on her cell phone. When I checked my notifications, I saw that I had received a message from an unknown number. Curious, she opened the message and read the words that would make her heart race. "Clara, I'm Simone Biles. I've never forgotten your kind gesture, and I want to help you make your dreams come true. I'm calling to propose something that could change your life." Clara could hardly believe what she was reading. Those few lines held a promise of hope and an invitation to embark on a journey she could never have imagined. From that moment on, everything started to change for Clara. She sees that sometimes the simplest acts can have extraordinary repercussions, and that security, even in the midst of adversity, always finds a way to return. Although it was still at the beginning of that new phase, Clara felt that something great was about to happen. She took a deep breath, allowing herself to believe that perhaps the universe truly conspires in favor of those who follow their hearts. Simone Biles' message echoed in Clara's mind for days. She trusted the words over and over again, trying to understand if this was real or just a dream that seemed too good to be true. However, the insistence of the unknown number finally led to the answer. When Simone met in person, her warm and sincere voice dispelled any doubts. The gymnast explained that she had been deeply touched by Clara's gesture and wanted to reciprocate in some way. "You reminded me of what's really important," Simone said, "and I want to help you build the future you deserve." Simone proposed something unimaginable, financing Clara's studies in an area that she always dreamed of exploring, but never had the resources to pursue. Clearly mentioned briefly during that meeting at the restaurant, her desire to take a management course to open her own business. Now, this casual conversation was about to turn into a real opportunity. Not only did Simone offer to pay for college, she also promised to connect with mentors and professionals who could guide her along this path. Clara felt a whirlwind of emotions: gratitude, disbelief, and most of all, a renewed sense of purpose. However, accepting Simone's help was not an easy decision for Clara. She grew up in a family where independence was valued above all else, and asking for help was always seen as a sign of weakness. Furthermore, she feared being seen as someone who received favors just because of a fortuitous gesture. But after many conversations with her mother and close friends, Clara discovered that accepting help did not require giving up her strength. On the contrary, it was a form of consideration that everyone needs support at some point in life. With a lighter heart, she accepted Simone's offer, knowing that this was a unique chance to change her trajectory. The following months were a period of intense transition for Clara. She started taking online classes while still helping her family with odd jobs. Although I was excited about a new phase, challenges that were never imagined. The routine of planned studies, discipline and dedication, and there were times when she doubted her ability to keep up. Furthermore, some people in the town started talking about her situation, questioning whether she really deserved so much luck. These criticisms shook him, but they also motivated him to prove that he was determined to make the best of the opportunity. During this time, Clara found unexpected support in unusual places. His business professor, an experienced and inspired woman, became an informal mentor, offering practical advice and constant encouragement. Additionally, she met other students who, like her, struggled to balance work, study, and personal life. These connections helped her realize that she was not alone on her journey and that every obstacle she overcame brought her closer to her goals. Clara also remained in frequent contact with Simone, who continued to be a supportive presence in her life, sending messages of encouragement and sharing stories of her own struggles and achievements. Despite the challenges, Clara began to notice subtle changes in herself. She became more confident, both in her abilities and her ability to face adversity. Each victory, no matter how small, fueled his determination to continue moving forward. She also began to see the world differently, realizing that opportunities can arise from the most unlikely situations. The meeting with Simone had been a turning point, but it was Clara's daily effort that was shaping her future. Meanwhile, Clara's story began to gain attention outside her small town. Simone, always generous in sharing stories that inspired other people, spoke about Clara's gesture in an interview with a national magazine. A narrative of permanence, resilience, and transformation for thousands of people, and Clara found herself at the center of a wave of support and admiration. Although initially hesitant about exposure, she soon shows that her story could serve as a powerful reminder that kindness and reassurance can open unexpected doors. As time passed, Clara began to clearly visualize the impact her journey could have not only on her own life, but also on the lives of others. She decided that when she achieved her goals, she would use her position to help others who, like her, would seize an opportunity to shine. This commitment to collective well-being brought new meaning to her journey, transforming it into something much greater than she had initially imagined. Clara was willing to discover that the true power of her story lay not only in what she had received, but not what she could give in return. As the years passed, Clara not only completed her business degree with excellence, but also developed a bold plan to open her own business. Inspired by the conversations she had with Simone and the challenges that arose on her journey, she decided to create something that reflected her values. A community cafe that would serve not just as a dining space, but as a meeting place, where people found connection, shared stories, and found support. The name chosen for the establishment was Generous Heart, a tribute to the simple gesture that changed his life and the transformative impact of the inauguration. The opening of the cafe was a landmark event in the small town. People of all ages came to support Clara, who was now seen as an example of perseverance and courage. The location quickly became a community landmark, known for its welcoming atmosphere and the inclusive philosophy that Clara implemented from the beginning. She hired young people who, like her in the past, needed an opportunity to show their potential. In addition, part of the coffee profits were dedicated to local initiatives focused on education and entrepreneurship, creating a virtuous cycle of positive impact. The success of the cafe brought new challenges, but also new opportunities. Clara realized that although she had achieved a level of financial stability she never imagined, her greatest accomplishment was in the lives she touched on a daily basis. Customers often shared stories about how the cafe had become a refuge during difficult times, or how Clara's words of encouragement helped them move forward. These accounts reinforced her truth that the true purpose of her journey was to inspire others to believe in themselves, just as Simone believed in her. At the same time, Clara maintained a close relationship with Simone, who continues to be a constant presence in her life. The two women meet regularly, whether in person or virtually, to discuss their experiences and reflections on the challenges of leadership and purpose. Simone, who also faced constant pressure in her career, found Clara to be a genuine friend and source of inspiration. Together, they devised thoughtful ways to expand the impact of their actions, combining Simone's resources and visibility with Clara's practical experience and community connection. One of these initiatives was the creation of a specific foundation for the empowerment of women in vulnerable situations, named Forza in Movimento, an organization that offers scholarships, mentoring, and financial support for women who want to start their own businesses or return to studies. Clara took an active role in managing the foundation, using her own story as proof that it is possible to overcome adversity with determination and adequate support. The foundation quickly gained national recognition, attracting partnerships with companies and institutions committed to equal opportunities. However, growth brings new responsibilities and pressures. Clara often found herself torn between managing the cafe, looking after the foundation, and keeping her personal life balanced. There were days when he felt the weight of so many expectations on his shoulders, but he learned to seek support when necessary. Her friends, family, and mentors were always ready to offer advice and encouragement, reminding her that her strength lies in her ability to ask for help when she needed it. This lesson was essential for her to stay focused on her goals without losing sight of who she really was. Over time, Clara began to realize that her journey was not just about material achievements or public recognition. It was about the internal transformation you experienced along the way. She learned to value each stage of her journey, from moments of uncertainty to the most important victories. This perspective gave her a deep sense of gratitude, not only for the opportunities she was given, but also for the hardships that shaped her. Clara now understood that adversity was not an obstacle, but a powerful tool for growth. Looking back, Clara discovers that everything she experienced, from the chance meeting with Simone to the challenges of building her own business, is part of a bigger plan. She was no longer the waitress who feared the future. She was a confident, resilient woman, committed to making a difference in the world. Her story proved that sometimes the simplest acts can spark extraordinary change, and that kindness, when practiced sincerely, has the power to transform lives, including our own. Over the years, Clara became a recognized figure not only in her hometown, but throughout the country. Her story has been told in conferences, interviews, and articles, where she shared her experiences and reflections on how stability and resilience can change lives. She always began her talks with the same words: "Never underestimate the power of a simple gesture." For Clara, this phrase encapsulated everything she had learned along her journey, from the chance meeting with Simone to the challenges and achievements that shaped her trajectory. His message was clear. Every person has the power to positively impact the world around them, regardless of their position or resources. The Corazon Generoso Café continued to prosper, becoming a model for other community enterprises. Clara has implemented training programs for vulnerable young people, offering them not only jobs, but also valuable skills for the future. Many of these young people, inspired by Clara, planned careers in areas such as administration, education, and entrepreneurship. They often returned to the cafe to thank Clara for her support and guidance, reinforcing the impact of her work. The place became a true center of social transformation, where stories of overcoming were written daily. The Forza e Movimento Foundation also expanded its operations, reaching communities in different parts of the country. With the support of Simone and other public figures, the organization launched awareness campaigns about the importance of female empowerment and equal opportunities. Clara passed through different cities, participating in events and workshops where she shared her experience as an example of how small actions can generate big changes. The foundation has helped hundreds of women resume their education or start their own businesses, creating a legacy of impact that has transcended generations. However, despite all her success and recognition, Clara never lost sight of her roots. She continued to visit her hometown regularly, keeping in close contact with her family and friends. Whenever possible, dedicate part of your time to local projects, such as renovating schools and creating public spaces for cultural activities. For Clara, it was important to remember where she came from and honor the people and places that helped her get to where she was. This connection to his origins was a constant source of inspiration and humility. At the same time, Clara also faced new personal challenges. As her responsibilities grow, she needs to learn to balance her professional and personal life more effectively. This included making time for yourself, practicing self-care, and cultivating meaningful relationships. She saw that in order to continue making a difference in the world, I needed to be at peace with myself. This process of self-knowledge helped him become even more resilient and centered, allowing him to face future challenges with serenity and wisdom. Clara also began writing a book about her journey, titled From Coffee to Transformation. In it, she detailed key moments in her life, from meeting Simone to creating the cafe and foundation. But the book wasn't just an autobiography. It was a practical guide for anyone who wanted to make a difference in the world. Clara has included exercises, reflections, and tips based on her experience, encouraging readers to identify their own strengths and act on weaknesses. When the book was released, it quickly became a bestseller, further expanding the reach of its message. Furthermore, Clara decided to invest part of her resources in educational projects aimed at children and teenagers. She believed that the future of any society depended on how we prepare for new generations, and she wanted to ensure that everyone had access to opportunities for growth. He created scholarships for students from underprivileged communities and financed the construction of libraries in public schools. His goal was to inspire young people to dream big and believe that, with effort and determination, they could achieve anything. Today, when Clara looks back, she feels deep gratitude for everything she experienced. She knows her journey is not over. In fact, she believes we are constantly in the process of growing and learning. However, it is also regular that she has come a long way since that day she was fired from the restaurant. Clara now understands that that difficult experience was, in fact, the beginning of something extraordinary. She proves that even in the most challenging situations, there is always an opportunity to start over, grow, and make a difference. His story continues to inspire thousands of people, showing that true power lies in our ability to transform adversity into strength and maintain a legacy. If you like this inspiring story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single video.